All right. Ian Scott in the house today. Ian, welcome to the RepStack podcast. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me, Azar.
How's the weather in LA?
It's just now getting chilly. It's just now dropping into the 60s and getting the fall vibes.
Come on, man. You can't be complaining. I'm in Buffalo here. We got a nice weather today here. But Ian Scott, he's the founder of brandblast.ai, an amazing tool. I just got the demo and we're definitely signing up for the RepStack marketing team. And it's a cool AI-driven social media solution for small and medium businesses. Lots of agencies are using it. It just superpowers your marketing assistants to do 20x the work they were doing before. We'll talk about that today. A lot of focus of Ian's work's been on saving time for the entrepreneur and also being cost effective at the same time. And I hear that Ian's really passionate about leveraging AI in the day to day. We're gonna hear a lot more about that as well. Ian, welcome to the show. How are you, man? Do you mind telling us a little bit about the brief story about who Ian Scott is and how did you get to found Brand Blast?
Yeah, of course, man. Thanks again. Yeah, hi, my name's Ian Scott. I actually come from a small farm town in Indiana. I had big dreams and aspirational hopes to get into tech from a young man, and I had some startups that failed in Indianapolis, but I was fortunate enough to go get a chance to work at Facebook and build a lot of cool stuff for them. So I spent 6 years doing that, and then recently quit my tenure there this year to launch Brand Blast, and that was to solve a problem that I had in past startups, and I think a lot of small business owners do, and that's that they're too busy running the business, building the business to actually keep up with their socials and post about the business and have that social media presence. So we leverage AI to automate for the small business owner and now the marketing agencies to just completely take that off your hands and just run your social media in the background while you're running your business.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. That you skimmed over the Facebook part. I'm sure a lot of people would be interested in finding out how did you land a job at Facebook and what did you do there for 6 years?
Yeah, that's a super interesting one because I don't have the background that a lot of people have at Facebook commonly. A lot of
Oh.
people there went to nice Ivy League schools and all that kind of stuff. Like I think when I
Mm.
first joined my first team, like there were like two or three of them were from Harvard, and the other guy was from
Wow.
MIT. And I'm just wow, like you guys actually knew each other in school, and I'm just like some kid from the Midwest. How I managed that was that there was this really interesting program. I don't know if they still have it, but it's called the rotational engineering program. And what they do is they take people with uncommon, non-traditional backgrounds, but they're entrepreneurial backgrounds. So they look at people that are entrepreneurs that kind of took their own path and got into tech and built stuff. And they're like, oh, you look promising. You're a self-starter. Let's get you in here. And so basically they give us a year to like ramp up, like run at the same speed as the other engineers and see if, like, oh, can you keep up with us? And then they hire you on full time. So it's this little kind of trial for basically entrepreneurs that they think may have a shot. And I was lucky enough
Yeah.
to get that with a few other people. And yeah, got in and I worked on the Facebook side for 3 years. So like a lot of the group stuff. I don't know if you guys have seen like guides in groups. It's like the educational feature that allow you to organize posts into kind of like courses. I worked on that for a couple years. And then the last few years, I actually switched over to the FRL side. So Facebook Reality Labs, and I worked on
Mm.
VR. So like pushing the boundaries
Wow.
in VR and yeah, and seeing I did some cool stuff there. And but yeah, that's how it came to be at Facebook.
The metaverse, huh? That's where I think Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg was the first person who really brought out that concept, like really easily explained it to the world what a metaverse could look like. And yeah, I guess it's taken on the Meta's name now, but
Yeah.
pretty cool
Super,
stuff.
super wild. That all came out right when I joined too. So I
Oh,
joined in
wow.
2021 for the Oculus side. So I was on the Facebook side for a couple years, then I joined the Oculus side. And then within a
Yeah.
few months, it's hey, we're gonna pivot basically everything towards this. And it's like, oh wow,
What an
okay.
exciting time and what an exciting place to be at, huh?
Oh yeah, super exciting. And we
Was it
were
like
pretty
a
small.
work from remote job or was it you had to go to the office?
Yeah, it was all remote. The first 3 years before pandemic was obviously like in the office, and it was really cool because it was Menlo Park. campus, which has many buildings and like 30 restaurants to eat at and stuff. And they
Wow.
do your laundry. They have a chiropractor there. They have
No way.
tennis there. Yeah, they did
Okay.
everything. It was great. Pretty much lived on campus. But when the pandemic hit, shut that down and became remote. And I had some startups and eventually moved to LA and worked remotely. There is an office in LA. I didn't go. It's not as cool as the Menlo Park Bay Area one. So
Nice,
yeah.
man. That's what a great story. And then what made you switch? Seems like you're having a blast and you're having so much fun. What's that evolution story where you finally realize that, hey, I'm ready to get back on track where you left off on your entrepreneurial journey?
Oh man, that's a good question. I can go in depth on that, but I'll just probably keep it brief. I feel like my life goal was to have a business and be like financially free and successful and like make a positive difference in the world. And I think I was getting a taste of that at Facebook, right? Because they pay you well, you get to work on important stuff. But I knew it wasn't going to be the full thing. It wasn't really what I was going after, what for like my life, what I dreamed about growing up, right? And so I
Mm,
said, I can stay here and keep doing well for myself, or I can take a big chance and actually do something much more fulfilling. And so I chose the harder path just because I know in the end it would be more fulfilling. And also, I know the problem that we're solving is super annoying. And so that was also something that really drove me to it. Yeah.
Love it, man. That's a great story, Ian. Let's get into our segment called Three More Questions. And I'm going to start with what are some key trends you're noticing with automation and AI in social media right now?
Yeah. So some key trends I'm noticing man, that's a really good one because there's like longer trends and then there's shorter trends. There's like these shorter trends where you see all these little kind of rappers popping up and doing different things, and they're getting better and better because the models are getting better, so the rappers have better abilities. And then there's this
Mm,
longer trend of all these rappers dying because all these small companies are building on top of OpenAI or something, and then OpenAI is,
mm.
oh, we got a feature that does that, and then they're going away. So that's a really interesting trend that's happening right now is you're seeing these flash in the pan startups blowing up and then becoming like nothing overnight, which is
That's very
wild.
interesting.
Yeah, it's super interesting. And then the other end, you have new startups coming on because they're using the new capabilities to build new products. And so
Mm,
I think the thing that's really interesting right now is all the like turnkey like little helper tools that were startups are going away because they were easy to they kind of got swallowed in the next model that was released by OpenAI. And then you're getting these
mm.
more complex platforms coming out that are using AI to do many things very specifically, very intricately. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's the trends I'm seeing. That's like the death of the simple startup AI startups and the rise of the more complicated AI startups.
Yeah, that's very interesting, man. I'm glad I asked you that question because you're the perfect guy to answer that question. Because I am noticing something similar out there as well, but it's really hard to point that out. And totally makes sense, right? You're gonna have a tool, and it's gonna be if it's gonna be too simple, it's just going to be overtaken pretty easily by probably by OpenAI or any of these uh, AI platforms. So that's a good one. Great answer. I love it as we're off to a great start here, Ian. Tell me a little bit about how does AI personalize content creation for brands?
Yeah. So how we personalize content. So if you go right now to like ChatGPT or Claude and you say, hey, here's my website URL, give me like some social media ideas, and it'll make some social media ideas, and then it gives you some like images because you can do that now. They're pretty generic. Like they're very much scratching the surface. Personalization is super important for us because that's what really gets it into the depths of like value driven, actually like branded content, not just something super generic that everybody's going to have. And so, what we do to approach this problem is we do a couple things. One, we actually track like kind of what you post in the platform. So, if you post something, we're going to look at it. And then two, the bigger thing is we have a deep knowledge base that you can upload basically any type of doc, anything you want to your AI, and the content that's going to be pushed out is going to be referencing that kind of stuff. If you have some kind of like causes that you guys did, some kind of goodwill, social responsibility stuff that you guys pushed in the last year, like donations or whatever, we can reference that kind of stuff. If you guys have specific like blogs that you put out, we can reference that kind of stuff. We just went over it today. I think before we got into this call, I pulled one of your blogs and I made like a carousel campaign with a week of content of all carousels, taking your stuff that you've already published and basically making into digestible social media posts in a very educational format. So there's a lot of things we do for personalization, but I think those are the key things is looking at what you've already posted and what you should post to come full circle on your social media strategy. And then two is just filling the AI with as much content as possible about your brand. So
Learning as you go, and the more you use it, the better it gets.
mhm.
It's
Yeah.
just like any other AI, but really focused around social media and how you can take what's trending and just so much easier, just the way you showed me right now. So
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. And sorry, to build on top of that, we also use like a lot of templates. So everything that you put out is going to be branded with your colors and your logo and all that kind of stuff. Like it's not just generic images, it's professional looking templates with your colors and all that.
And my last question related to this one would be, how do you guys keep your tool updated, right, with changing social media trends and algorithms, new AI tech coming out and things like that? What's like for you to, it's a very useful tool, but for you not to be in that first category we just talked about, it's really important to be like front and center of all these changes. So what's the philosophy on that for from your side?
That's a great question. So there's a couple different things. One, just always staying up to date with the latest models. That's the easy one. That's what everybody's doing. Just changing a model name. But two is building more complex and diverse algorithms that make things in different ways. So like I just showed you, like the carousels from a blog post. That's a few different elements that we've come out with in the past month, making that possible. More and more stuff. For instance, what we came out with last month was targeted campaigns. Like you can make campaigns from blogs, prompts, URLs, whatever. And then now it's carousel. So now you can take that kind of info and put it in educational bite-sized pieces. And then next would be B-rolls to where we're making videos with the B-roll of this kind of stuff. And then next early Q1 of next year, we're going to be doing AI avatar overlays on those things. So you're going to have the face of the brand, whoever that is, whether it's the founder or some AI that looks good that you like, going over and narrating those B-rolls and talking to people and giving them quick tips and all that kind of stuff. Really just making the features not like intentionally making it more complex, but trying to get to the end goal of, hey, what's the best social media you see out there right now? What are they doing? And how can we replicate that? Uh, and so it's a long trek, but there's many things to deliver. So that's how we
Yeah.
stay on top
It's
is
more of a evolution than revolution. You gotta be like, you gotta be in there with vigor every single day, making sure that you're on top of stuff and it's built
mhm.
into your systems and processes. Seems like that's what you've done here.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think
Amazing.
you got a great it's evolution of the product and
Yeah. Love it. All right, let's move on to three more ideas. So this is like a rapid fire round, and I'm gonna give you some terms. I'd like to hear your one thought on that. Let's start with what's one AI myth out there right now?
oh man, one AI myth. This could be controversial. I think one AI myth is that we're gonna have what is it called? Like general intelligence in the next couple years, or some. I think the basically to say it better for the audience is that humans will completely be replaced by AI in the next few years. I don't think it's going to be a few years. I think we have AI doing that kind of stuff. It's going to be like maybe 10 years.
Hmm.
It's coming quick, but
It's still
yeah.
around the corner, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of it depends on the job. It depends on the job. I guess for marketers, which people on this podcast probably care about, yeah, it's going to come sooner than the farmer out in the field. But yeah, I think
Yeah, I think I heard somewhere that AI is not taking your job. People who know how to use AI are. So let's get at the forefront like you, right? Like you built your tool around a super great programmed AI, and any human can now use that and be 10xing and 20xing their performance from tomorrow. I think that's what we need right now. But yeah, I love that answer. I think you're coming from you, right from the lion's mouth, so to speak, that like we should be believing that if you're saying it's 10 years apart, then it's really coming along. And yeah, I did get an opportunity to ride the Waymo car in San Francisco just a couple of months back. That was a fun experience. And any second thoughts that you have about AI and these self-driving cars, they're out the window in the first 3 seconds you're in that car because they're so safe. They're better than a human driver. It's just I had no issues in riding that car. We rode it multiple times while we were there. We had so much fun.
Yeah, no, those are pretty cool. Those are awesome. I heard Tesla's going to be coming out with something like that soon too.
Yeah, yeah, let's see, let's see. It's fun.
Some
All right,
taxis.
here's the second one for you. What's your one time optimization trick for today's entrepreneurs?
I mean, time optimization, there's so many. I guess actually using a calendar and not just like reactively using a calendar, like spacing out. I don't know how long it takes
Yeah,
you guys
old
to
school, huh? No AI needed here.
get. Yeah, actually blocking out at least 4 hours a day to do some deep work. It doesn't have to be every day, maybe 3 days a week. It really depends how many of those flow state sessions you need to actually be productive. But I would say at least 3 4 hour windows to just sit down and do one thing that you're really good at. And I don't mean answering emails, building or writing or whatever you're doing that's getting your business to the next level that only you could do.
Mm,
So yeah, I would
love it.
say that as far as entrepreneurs, yeah,
Great, man. Get
yeah.
some deep work in. I'm a big fan of that. And get your schedules dialed in. Love those tips. What's the biggest automation trend that you're seeing around the corner?
Oh man, you know what? It would probably be the agents. The You prompt it and it does like many different prompts and like tasks and fulfills the task and comes back to you after like X amount of steps and gives you the results. I think that is coming out around the corner. I think that's going to be very powerful. It's already out a little bit with some of the assistants. We have an internal way we do it with some like long running background jobs that have different steps. But once you can automate those with AIs, I think that's going to be crazy. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. The
Hmm.
AI agents. They're already out, but I think they're not out.
They're not out in their full glory.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not extremely adoptable by people yet, but I think they will
Yeah,
be. And when we
yeah,
do, yeah, then I
I
may
hear
be
you.
taking back the answer to the first question about like people being replaced in 10 years. It may be like, oh wow, agents are awesome. Let's knock it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Let's see. It remains to be seen. Let's give ourselves 10 years on all of these questions and we'll go back and check this podcast out. Ian, thank you very much for joining the show, man. It was a pleasure. I had a blast just talking to you and just talking about so much of this automation stuff and the AI stuff. And coming from you, it means a lot. What you built at Brand Blast with your experience seems like a brand that you want to follow. We're definitely becoming a customer probably today, and we'll keep you guys posted on how our experience has been using BrandBlast.ai. And thank you again, Ian. And Sam would have sent out a customized Yeti to you already, so it should be arriving over the next week or so.
Oh,
Let me know. Let me
wow,
know how you
awesome.
like it.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Azar. I'm already repping all the rep stack gear you hooked me up with at the summit, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was great meeting you in Dallas, and hopefully I'll get to meet you again next year. And until then, we'll stay in touch and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Bye.